1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Charges are absolutely disgusting. We are starting to see a disgusting picture unfold before our very eyes. Stephan Sterns' charges have been upgraded to 60 additional charges. That's correct. Many of us are reeling, just wondering what this poor girl went through in her short life on this earth. I'm not going to go through the charges that he has been charged with. They are deplorable. They are disgusting, and some of them happened before she was 12 years old. Stephan Sterns was a predator. Monsters like this do not deserve to breathe the same air as we do. And what he did to this young girl, we will never forgive him for. May she rest in peace. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. What is up, my beautiful people of YouTube and X? It's nice to see you this Monday morning, Manic Monday. How many of you guys are up trying to get ready and out the door this morning? But don't worry, we're going to give you some Reader's Digest versions of stuff before you hit the road, and then we're going to dive into the details for the rest of you. I am officially in the office. I'm officially in the office. I have been doing a lot of work. I've been in office too. I've been, sometimes I just got to submerge myself, and sitting in this chair is just not the way to do it. So we've been riding with office 2 for some time, but we're in office 1. So I'm really happy, but also with that comes potential audio issues. Audio issues. I know. Calm down. So you guys are going to need to tell me if my videos are playing. I'm trying to. My audio went down. So give me a second. I got to put it all back up. Now I don't know what's going on, because now I don't know if anything's going to work. Boo. Audio issues. I hate audio issues. Nothing more than frustrating. And as soon as I said that, my audio really went down. So give me just a second. So boo. Frustrating. I think we're all back up now. With the audio issues. Hopefully we got them out of the way. So anyways, you guys need to tell me, for whatever reason, if the audio is not coming in. Sweet Misery, the first one up. She's never up. She's never up for Bullhorn Betty, but today she is. Good morning. Good morning. I am present. Our beautiful Sonia is up in the house. I'm wearing one of her designs. Team Foul Play, by the way. Team Foul Play. Do you remember those shirts? Do you remember those shirts? It's always the Team Foul Play shirts are always in stock, okay? Because every case we go through, we're usually on Team Foul Play, right? So it's a shirt that will never go to waste. Get with Sonia and get your Team Foul Play. Team Foul Play. Our beautiful Skittles is up in the house. Listen, Skittles, I was reading some articles yesterday, and there was a disturbing article out of New Zealand. I'm like, what? I can't remember what it was about, but I know it had to have been bad. It had to have been a woman missing or a child missing, one of the two, because those were the only two things I was searching and researching yesterday. So if that's the case, Rebecca, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Turtle Madness is up in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Nevea. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Bayou Babe, TD Dean, Angela is up in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. Jazzy is here. Good morning, my love. It's nice to see you. It's me, Jen. always with a smile on her face, is up in the house. Mary, it's nice to see you. Rhonda, good morning. Who else do we have? Samantha, good morning, my love. I think I said hi. 3 flying doves. No audio. I know. The audio, literally right when I did the boo. The audio dropped. I'm like, no. No. Okay, so it's nice to see you, Jules, the real me too. It's nice to see you, Susie Sue. Good morning. If I missed you, this is just a big old fat welcome for the Bullhorn Betty channel to you. So before we get started, I wanted to go. This is just my avocation, okay? You guys are gonna have to deal with it, all right? And besides, it's from Grady Judd. We love Grady Judd, right? We love Grady Judd. So let me just put this up there, get this out of the way, and we're gonna get started. I've got this thing set up, but I think I'm gonna start with Riley Strain first this morning, even though I was gonna start off with Madeline Soto. I think we're gonna start off with Riley Strain because the phones are open. The phones are going to be open. They're always open during our live. Just give me a few minutes to get through the intro. And if we're talking about anything and you feel like you need to call in or you want something to say, or I'm saying something wrong, or I've got something incorrect, or maybe there's new information breaking as we are discussing this case, there's the number 724-249-6140. If you'd like to call in for those comments and what have you. So before we get started, let me just take it over because, this made me laugh, guys. I have to be honest with you. When I was watching this made me laugh. Because, as much as we love Grady Judd, like he has some type of comedy. Like he's a little funny, right? But he's got a dry sense of humor, but he's still funny. It's still funny.
It's very frightening to me, folks. And then here's what some of the mainstream media, some of the politicians, some of the elites are telling us every day, and they're saying this often enough, hoping we'll.
Can you guys all hear that? We got to check now. Everything was set up, but the audio went down.
Believe it. What they're saying is they tell us there isn't a border crisis. Have y'all heard that? There isn't a border crisis. I say BS. So I've got a BS flag. So I throw the BS flag on that. Then they tell us the border is secure. BS. It's not secure. Then they tell us, the illegal immigrants that are here aren't committing crime at any greater rate than American citizens that commit crime. Well, listen, if they weren't here, they couldn't commit any crime, right? They're committing hundreds of thousands of crimes, and that's just the ones we're arresting them for. So I throw the BS flag on that. Listen, folks, the bottom line to all this is we have a governor, we have a wonderful legislature that's given us all the tools we can to protect the people of the state of Florida. But the people of the United States deserve the same protection. It's very...
All right. So there's ours from Grady Judd. I thought it was comical, the whole BS flag. I have a funny feeling that BS flag is going to be used for a lot more than this. I have a funny feeling. I think I even saw DeSantis take a picture, unless it was cropped in, next to Grady Judd with the BS flag. So I found it comical. I thought somebody might get a little, get a little tickle out of that. We're also going to be going through some stuff. I know a lot of this stuff we have seen, but there's more information coming out. First and foremost, I want to say on Riley Lively's panel yesterday, she was with, she had a few of her TikTok friends live. If you guys remember who Riley Lively is, she was one of the TikTokers that filmed Cyber Sleuths with Olivia and was debuted, featured in Cyber Sleuths. And so she was on the phone with the girls that were searching an area that ended up finding the bank card of Riley Strain. A lot of people out here say that, YouTubers and stuff going out there and searching and, social media influencers going out there and searching just cause problems. Just cause problems in these cases. That's not true. Now, I know that's what they would like you to lead you to believe, because most of these people don't leave their home. You're never going to find something unless you're looking. I truly believe in the mission of this channel and other channels like mine, of getting out there and really putting boots on the ground and not just advocating for these cases, but searching for them, commentating on them, getting their face out there, getting the information out there. Many of you guys know Chronicles of Olivia is boots on the ground there now. She's been out in Nashville, or in this area, not quite Nashville. I guess it is kind of Nashville, but I don't know where. I guess it's right on the strip or something like that. Either way, she's out there right now trying to get some information, and had an interview with the stepfather. So that was a little enlightening. A lot of people are kind of leading when it comes to the Strain case, believe he might have been roofied, or some other substances introduced into him without his knowledge. There is a report out there that states that this was one of many bars this group of kids went to. So the idea, I know initially, hey Roxy, it's nice to see you. Initially, everybody was saying, wait a minute, he only had one drink and one water. No, if you talk to the staff, if you listen to what the staff says, they wouldn't serve him anymore. He had met their limit. They gave him one drink and he was so intoxicated, they tried to give him water. However, I don't know if he was making a scene or just stumbling all over people, but the staff actually asked him to leave. And his friend walked him out and then turned around and went back in. And I don't know if the group wasn't going to be leaving with him. Either way, however you look at this, whenever I went out, and I know that the stepfather's like, guys, when they don't stay in the system, that's not true. When I went out, now, mind you, when I was 20 something, I was part of the rowdy group. Okay. I was part of the people that when you were trying to have a good time and people were getting too loud and obnoxious, you'd kind of look at them and stare. Well, I was part of the obnoxious group that you were probably looking at and staring at and rolling your eyes at. Okay. So, we were knuckleheads. And if one of us got kicked out, it didn't matter if you were a guy or a girl. We all left. It wasn't one person, oh, we'll catch you at the next bar. Give us a call in an hour. We'll let you know where we're going to be. It was never like that. When we went out, we were part of but if one of us got kicked out, we all left. We were all like, back out, no offense, but that's the way it was. It was like, you're going to throw us out, F you, We're never coming back here again until the next day, of course, until the next day. But yeah, I really truly believe, there is this idea. Could he have been? I'm sure it's possible, but probability wise, it sounds like these kids were bar hopping and he was completely, utterly inebriated and should never have been left alone. Now, we've also, I was watching Justin's channel, Justice for All, yesterday, and he was talking about the case and people were funneling him information. And so while he was doing that, because I hadn't really discussed this case in any kind of detail or anything like that when it came to Riley Strain. But because I was listening, I was trying to get some more information from Justin. And Justin had a lot of people calling in and texting him and sending him a bunch of information right there. So, they were giving him the information, but he's like me, don't just say something, provide me the information, especially if I'm live, because people are going to want to know where the information came from. So they're telling him all this. So I'm behind the scenes trying to, fact check all this information. And I'm trying to send this stuff off to him as quickly as possible. And he was trying to find the interview or the commentary related to who said what about the potential homeless man that was in, Riley's shirt, his very distinctive shirt he was wearing on that night, kind of a black white, but it was odd because, the pocket was black on the white print. And it was just, it was a stylish shirt. It was a nice shirt, but it was black and white, and it kind of stood out. It was kind of unique. So we heard that. So I'm sitting there trying to, send him this information. And then they're talking about the walk and everything. So I've got that stuff up. So I figured would kind of backtrack. We're going to talk about a few things. I know that these first few videos of the surveillance of him walking, we've seen 1,000 times, even before I jumped in and started looking into this case, which really, in all fairness, I started looking into while I was watching Justin for All's live. But because I was researching stuff for him, I was already getting some basis of information. So there are some key areas that I want to point out to people that I can just tell are going to be problematic, and kind of break down, kind of what I heard people say and what that stuff means to me and how my brain processes that information and spits out a theory. So we're going to go through all of that here in just a few moments. But first, let's look at the route he took. I think this is super, super important when it comes to him. Now, again, guys, you're going to have to, I guess there's not really any audio on this anyway, so we're just going to walk you through it. But here it is. This is the first audio, or not first audio, the first video we received citing Riley Strain. I don't know if that music's. So we see this, and you can see him stumbling right here in the screen. I don't know if you guys can see there. There he is. He's in that distinct black and white shirt right there. You can tell he's ultra inebriated. He can barely walk straight. He's confused. You can see because he's walking this way. He's looking at these people to see if they're his friends. And I think that he turned around because he thought his friends were with him. And now he's realizing, wait a minute, these people that I thought were my friends aren't my friends. Where the hell am I? I think that's what that whole little, about face turn that he did and why he did it. So here's another more clearer image of it, of the situation. You can see him here. He's kind of with like a little group of people, and he's turning around. He's like, wait a minute, where's my people? Are they this way? Did they walk past me? And he turns around and keeps walking. And I think he's walking with these people thinking that originally he just seen bodies next to him. Again, he's inebriated. And he was thinking his friends were there. And he's realizing at this moment, he doesn't have his friends anywhere. Where the hell is he? So I don't know if that has anything to do with this or not. But it's very concerning. And everybody wants to hear this information about the shirt. Now, this is a guy that passed. If you recall, if you look back here, you'll see this guy is walking. So this is this guy right here in this video. Let me see if I can back it up. Maybe you can see him a little bit better. Same guy right here. He's got a cart. He's dragging behind him. He's in black right there. That's what you're seeing over here on this video. I think the reason why they're pointing this guy out is because of the information on who was possibly or potentially wearing the shirt that was found from the homeless guy. So I want you guys to hear this. Let me know if you're having any audio issues.
Citing a missing 22-year-old Riley Strain's unique black and white shirt that he was wearing last Friday when he was last seen being kicked out of Luke Bryan's Nashville bar. A woman has come forward that said when she was volunteering at Tent City this past Sunday, she saw a homeless man possibly wearing Riley's unique shirt. She also said this man often...
And again, they're calling it a unique shirt. It is fairly unique. Have I seen one similar to that before? Of course, I think we all have, especially those black and white parties and things like that. Can you turn it up? I don't think so. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I guess I can. Okay, there we go.
Often hangs around another homeless man who was always pulling a black wagon.
See? Always pulling a black wagon. And that's why they focused in on that black wagon if somebody is a little confused. So this guy was in and around the area, the one with that's pulling the black wagon, as Riley's crossing the street. And this may or may not be important, but we know that homeless people keep moving. So this guy that's carrying that cart behind him is probably walking all over these streets multiple times in the same area, just moving around, just checking out, whatever they do. I don't know. I'm not a homeless person, but I have to think it's a miserable life and you're always on the move because it's hard to close one eye when you got vultures at your back,
The last known surveillance footage of Riley shows him crossing paths with a man pulling a black wagon.
I'm telling you, the shirt is what stood
This is the person you're about to hear the actual comments from the person.
out and how clean it was.
Right.
He is always with two individuals. One is a lady. He's on a bike. So this is a.
So now they're showing a man on a bike.
If anybody that goes to the area, you'll know very few have bikes. He's always with a lady who's heavier set. And then there's another man with him that generally wears a camouflage jacket. And he pulls like a cart wagon looking thing with him all the time. And I did call in to the non-emergency number last night and let them know. And then I was transferred to a voicemail. So this may have nothing to do with it, but it all kind of, came together whenever I saw a shirt and then the guy was missing it. A young man had a bike, which is also unusual. A lot of them don't have bicycles, and dark black, dirty pants, brown shoes.
And brown shoes. And I didn't quite get that, about the brown shoes. But it was, and I don't know if we can see it in the video or not, but apparently I'm hearing that Riley Strain was wearing boots, and those may have been brown. So there's a lot that this lady is saying, and she gave such great detail that it makes me wonder, is she being truthful? And from what she's a volunteer at this homeless shelter. I don't see any point in her lying about that. And we know something happened to Riley that night. He hasn't been heard or seen. So the idea that this is not good, you got that right. This is not a good situation that anybody really wants to face right now. I mean, it is a horrific situation. Now, there's a homeless man interview. Let me find it. I don't think I homeless man interviewed. And that was in Riley Strain. And homeless man seen wearing, there was one interview that I saw, if I can find it again. Is it this one? No. Okay, here it is. Maybe it's this one. This is 3 days. I'm gonna put this up because this is the first time I'm seeing this one, and this came out 3 days ago. But there is one, and I've got to find it, that has the homeless man, and they're showing a video of his shoes while he's talking to them. And he basically says that he saw Riley. There was a commotion behind him. He turned around, and somebody was with Riley, and looked up at this homeless man and said, "He's just drunk. He's okay." And it's at this moment that has me very concerned, because if he just saw Riley in the bushes, could this man have attacked Riley? And when he turned around, he's like, "Oh, he's just drunk, nothing to see over here." And he's robbing Riley. Could that have happened? Yes, it could have. So we don't know who this last known person that was seen around Riley at the time he disappeared, but we have credible information that says that somebody, after he was off the last camera, was near him and speaking with him. And so that does have me very, very concerned who that anonymous person was that was around Riley, and if law enforcement, one, has the information, and two, has tracked down that person to find out what they know or saw. It is concerning. It is very concerning. Not sure what this one is.
Strange, unique black and white shirt that he was wearing last Friday.
Oh, it's another one about the same shirt. And here, this is the one I want to take you on. This takes you, we're going to stop this. We're going to stop this as he's walking, because this is the walk according to everything that we know. Okay? Everything that we know about Riley's path of travel. This Fox News reporter took us for the walk. And so there is one key area that is very, very problematic and very concerning. It is my understanding that Riley was going in the opposite direction than his hotel, or he must have gotten confused. And I think that put him directly in line with walking into a very bad part of this community. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because it almost looks like the point where, like, during the day when this reporter's out there, it looks good, it's beautiful, but you can see that there are certain places at night that would be very problematic for me. So let's go ahead and walk this. And I'm going to start, I'll slow it down where I can. This is only a minute long, but I think you need to see it. Hold on. Let's see if we got some sound on this one. No, we do not. So what this is this is just the walk of Riley. So we're just going to go through it. This is what they said his path of travel was when he left Luke Bryan's 32 bar. So this is fine. This is normal. This is downtown, which was probably busy around 11 o'clock at night. So I anticipate, and we saw people walking. It wasn't too overly crowded, but there were, people walking in this direction because we saw them. So this is the area. We're getting up to the area where he crossed and where the video footage really started showing us Riley's path. And it was right here. This was the area. And so as we start going this way, this is the area that I feel is starting to get sketchy. So once at night, now during the day, you see how it's open. People are here, just like many river walks. If this is like my river walk here in Manatee County, at night, all the homeless people infiltrate this area. They utilize drugs, they're drinking. Some of them are just trying to, be around people so they're not attacked or robbed or anything like that. So this area here, just looking at it, for me, I'm envisioning problem areas at night. And this is once he starts getting here and starts walking further this way is when I start seeing that problematic area. Even though it's daylight, I can see how easily it could be a problem area for somebody that's inebriated and alone. So we're going over here. And then this is kind of where, when we start getting around this turn and going under this overpass, this is where I truly believe is the problem areas. Right here is a hotbed for people that would like to gather or sharing drugs or doing things like that. We saw that the camera, he was alone. He was able to be targeted. He was kind of like the spotlight was directly on him because he was so floppy as he was walking that people were noticing him. And people with bad intentions were also noticing that this man is very highly intoxicated and alone. He was a prime target for anyone that wanted to do nefarious things. And it's between this bridge here. It's between this bridge here and that bridge there. That was the last sighting of him. Right here, this picture right here is the last known sighting of Riley Strain. This is his path of travel right here. And even though this one shows he made it to the other bridge, he did not. He kind of lost sight right in between the Woodland Street and the next bridge. That's the last place that he was. Now, and it's my understanding right around this area is also where the last phone ping and the card was found. They found the card near the area where he was last seen. Which was between the Woodland Bridge and the Cumberland. This is the Cumberland River. I don't know what this bridge is called, but there's two bridges here. And he was in between the two bridges when he disappeared. He was seen on one camera and never was seen again on the other camera, just a few, feet away. So where did Riley Strain go? We don't know. And again, with that homeless person, actually, let me pull up Justin's YouTube real quick. Hold on. And we'll go directly to that portion of the YouTube channel. Oh, before we get started, I know we have almost 400 people here from an array of all of our channels that we're running on right now. We are going to be going to the main channel, our coffee club channel. That's Bullhorn Betty. We're going to be doing that starting next Monday. We will not be running the live stream on both of these channels. We will be running the live stream on our main channel. So if my mods, Paralegal Liz, what is shaking bacon? Holy smokes. It's nice to see you, my love. It's nice to see you. If anybody doesn't know Paralegal Liz, we got to hang out in South Carolina. Are you going to a sentencing phase on the 1st? I'm curious. And that's for the Real Me Too as well. February 1st, there's a sentencing phase in Charleston, April 1st at 10 a.m. Are you going to be there? Just out of curiosity. Anyways, getting back to Strain, let me pull up Justin for All, because I want to find that one interview that I'm talking about. It's just easier. Oh, good heavens. Sorry, Justin. It's just easier for me to go steal from you. Oh, it's only from 3 days ago. Where did he do it on Clutch Them Pearls? Maybe it's on Clutch. Is he not using Justin for All? Maybe I was on there. Elijah Food Canada. Did he take it off? Huh. I don't see him in the shirt he was in yesterday. Well, shit. Have they checked? Oh, yeah, they've had a lot of people in the water checking for him. Just give me a second. Let me find the interview. I can't remember. What was it? Fox? Riley Strain. Oh, we also have the 911 call, too, that we're going to go over. That was released this morning. I need to find that one. Actually, let's go over that now. Yes. Okay, here it is. Maybe it's new channel 5. I'll have to go. Stuff.
The 22-year-old visiting Nashville last weekend for a fraternity formal remains missing tonight. Thanks for joining us here at 6, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. His friends last saw him after he was asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway. This story has caught the attention of people all across the country, and Rory with a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, so many. We know so many of you care about this, and like us, you're hoping for a positive outcome. News Channel 5's Chris Davis sharing the latest details that we've uncovered.
For 5 days, they've searched low along the riverbank and put his picture high up on billboards. But there's still no sign of college student Riley Strain.
It's a very sad situation. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
Music City Wine and Spirits heard about the missing 22-year-old, but didn't think about their surveillance cameras until a construction worker and then Riley's own mother asked them to check.
We were able to go back on.
Let me see if I can find the actual 911 call. This doesn't look like it's the 911 call. Let me go to the 911 call. It was released. I heard it this morning. I just got to find it. Oh, here it is. I think it's this one.
March 9, 2024, 13:46 and 20.
This is the 911 call, folks.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hi, I don't have an address. I'm trying to file a missing persons report, and the Central Police is closed, and the sheriff's office said that we couldn't do it there.
Okay, so where exactly are you now?
We're in front of the Central Police, how do you say that? Precinct? How do you say that? Precinct. The Central Police Precinct on...
Okay, there's 601 Korean Veterans Boulevard and downtown Nashville, right across from the Music City Center?
Yeah.
Okay, and is that where you're able to wait for a police officer to come and speak to you?
Yeah, we can wait for an officer here.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
Oh, my phone?
Yes, in case we needed to reach you back, what is the best number to reach you at?
Give it a second. He's reading his number.
And what is your name, sir?
Braden, Brayden.
And your last name?
Baltz.
Okay. And who is it that you're wanting to report as missing?
We're here on a fraternity formal trip. It's one of my good buddies.
Okay. What is his name?
His name is Riley Strain. Riley, Riley. Strain, Strain.
Okay. Is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
He's white. 22-year-old, 6'5", blonde.
Okay. And what was he last seen wearing?
Outside of Luke Bryan's bar last night at like 10. And then the last time his location on his phone was...
So if he was that inebriated at 10 p.m., and the last time anybody's seen him at 11, these guys were drinking for a significant amount of time that day for him to be that inebriated that time of night.
By the sheriff's office at like 11 p.m.
Okay. And what color clothing was he last seen wearing?
He's wearing jeans, boots, and a half black shirt, half brown, light brown.
You said it's a half brown shirt. Is that a white or is that like a taupe or a cream color? I wonder. Or if it was just a mistake.
Okay. And you said it last showed outside the sheriff's department?
Like around that area by the river, by the sheriff's department over there.
Yeah, exactly, Cleve.
Okay. Does he have any life-sustaining medications or disabilities?
No.
And what is, you said he has a phone, so it's a cell phone, right?
Yeah, it's an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
What is the number?
But it's, hold on. Give me 1 second. I got you.
Sure.
All right, you ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
So let it keep going. We're getting close to
You said the last four were 4198?
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to be waiting there at the door of the precinct, or are you going to be waiting in your car?
I mean, yeah, we're at the front door of the precinct.
Okay. I've got the call sent there at the Central Precinct, 601 Korean Veterans Boulevard in downtown, right across from Music City Center. We'll get an officer out to you as soon as we can. Please call us back if something changes before they arrive.
All right, so let's listen to that again. We'll listen to that from the beginning.
Saturday, March 9, 2024, 13:46 and 24 seconds.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hi, I don't have an address. I'm trying to file a missing persons report, and the Central Police is closed, and the sheriff's office said that we couldn't do it there.
Okay, so where exactly are you now?
We're in front of the Central Police, how do you say that? Precinct? How do you say that? Precinct. The Central Police Precinct on...
Okay, there's 601 Korean Veterans Boulevard and downtown Nashville, right across from the Music City Center?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that where you're able to wait for a police officer to come and speak to you?
Yeah, we can wait for an officer here.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
Of my phone?
Yes, in case we needed to reach you back, what is the best number to reach you at? And what is your name, sir?
Braden, Brayden.
And your
Baltz,
last name?
Baltz.
Okay. And who is it that you're wanting to report as missing?
We're here on a fraternity formal trip. It's one of my good buddies.
Okay. What is his name?
His name is Riley Strain. Riley, Riley. Strain, Strain.
Okay. Is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
He's white. 22-year-old, 6'5", blonde.
Okay. And what was he last seen wearing?
Outside of Luke Bryan's bar last night at like 10, and then the last time his location on his phone was by the sheriff's office at like 11 p.m.
Okay. And what color clothing was he last seen wearing?
He's wearing jeans, boots, and a half black shirt, half brown, light brown.
Okay. And you said it last showed outside the sheriff's department?
Like around that area by the river, by the sheriff's department over there.
Okay. Does he have any life-sustaining medications or disabilities?
No.
I don't know. It's me.
And what is, you said he has a phone, so it's a cell phone, right?
Yeah, it's an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
What is the number?
But it's hold on. Give me 1 second. I got you.
Sure.
All right, you ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Jen. God bless you.
You said the last four were 4198?
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to be waiting there at the door of the precinct, or are you going to be waiting in your car?
I mean, yeah, we're at the front door of the precinct.
Okay. I've got the call sent there at the Central Precinct, 601 Korean Veterans Boulevard in downtown, right across from Music City Center. We'll get an officer out to you as soon as we can. Please call us back if something changes before they arrive. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Like I say, just call us back if something changes before they arrive.
That's fine.
All right.
We'll be here.
All right, so there you guys have it. There's the 911 call. We played it a couple times here on this channel. Apparently, we had some issues with X, and my stream dropped. So we should be back up on X now. I went there. I probably shouldn't have deleted the live. I didn't know if it would restart it over there on X or not. So I deleted the earlier portion of the live, which kind of sucks. I probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. I'll try to update. Oh, thank you, Kay. God bless you. God bless you. And I'll try to update that as soon as possible, or just upload. But there's a link in there. So if you guys want to see the whole entire live, you guys can do that. Just come over here to YouTube and open up the live. So there should be a link there for you guys, for those that missed the first half of the show. So there's some new information. You know, obviously the parent, the fraternity brothers did not realize he was missing until the next day. By that time, obviously, it was a little problematic because, you know, where's Riley? He's gone. And I'm still trying to find the interview. If I can find out who gave the interview. Let me go over to YouTube and see if I can find it. Let me see if this is it. I gotta find the one with the interview because that's the. Let me just see if I can find the one where the guy was without shoes, talking about the homeless camp, but I don't see the guy without shoes. Does anybody have that interview where the homeless man, they focused on his shoes? That's the one I'm looking for. If anybody has that, I'd greatly appreciate it. I got to go through all of these. I don't know why I can't find it. Maybe I saw it on Twitter. Yes, we are on the new channel. Let's get the new channels, the new channel up. We've been off that channel for almost 3 months, so we're 3 months behind. And of course, you know, the 2 years of campaign, or at least almost 2 years now of straight bullying, trying to destroy my channel. And we're now just trying to get the channel built back up to what it is while we proceed through this lawsuit. So if you guys would like to go over there and sub up, I'd greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate any of the support that we get. Homeless. Nothing. Trying to wait to see if anybody's throwing it up in the. If you throw it in the chat, let me know, because I'm not in chat right now. Let's see if it's. Who did that? Why won't it tell me who did it? Hold on a second. Everything's so difficult. I just don't know how to use all this stuff. Aw, Julie, thank you. God bless you. Should probably did the look of the Irish Easy E. Oh, thank you. God bless you. Yeah, so that was the 911 call, but I'm still looking for. We heard a commotion. Here it is. I think this is it. The commotion comment. Tell me that this is, and it says not found. Apologies, not found. Huh. Let me look for that. Riley Strain. Riley. Motion. Man seen on his path. Is this it? This might be it. I think I might have found it. Give me just a second. I gotta wait for the commercial. If I gotta wait for the commercial, you guys have to wait for the commercial. That's all there is to it.
Right here.
But who wants to deal with all these damn commercials? There it is. Got it. I got it. Here we go. I found it. I want you guys to hear this. Put this back up. And if you guys, don't forget the call-in line is open. Here it is.
Over the edge right there.
A man who's part of the homeless community is speaking out for the first time on seeing missing college student Riley Strain walking his last known path. That man is speaking exclusively to Fox 17 News tonight. Now, we've been following the search for University of Missouri student Riley Strain for just over a week at this point. His disappearance last Friday night making national headlines after Riley was asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar and then walked in the wrong direction to his hotel. I can tell you tonight we are hearing from one of the last people who potentially saw Riley before his trail stops. Day 8 of the search for Riley Strain. Nashville's Office of Emergency Management uses dive teams for the first time in their river searches for any trace of the University of Missouri senior. Today's effort yielding nothing conclusive, according to officials. In retracing Riley's steps, surveillance video shows the 6'7", 22-year-old leave Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway just after 9:30 p.m. last Friday, March 8th, getting kicked out for intoxication. Riley heads up 3rd Avenue alone, crashes into a pole off Church Street, and then stumbles onto Gay Street near the...
And what if he, guys, I mean, what if he hit his head really hard? And what we're seeing here, he's, may have hurt himself and he's just not realizing it. I mean, he took a tumble into that pole pretty hard. Could he have caused himself some damage? Let's just see that again. Could he have caused himself some damage?
Heads up 3rd Avenue alone,
Boom.
Crashes into a
How do we
pole
know
off
he did
Church
not
Street?
hit that concrete or the concrete? How do we know his head wasn't, hurt? We don't.
And then stumbles onto Gay Street near the river, holding his head in some of the footage.
I seen the guy that went missing. He came down through here.
Fox 17 News speaking exclusively to a transient man who lives along the riverbank, right where Riley was last spotted on camera per police, near the James Robertson Parkway Bridge.
That's the James Robertson Parkway Bridge and Woodland.
Heard a commotion. We looked back up. He almost fell over. The last bush right there caught him. He was very, very, very intoxicated, I guess. I mean, he was stumbling hard. I've never seen anybody stumble that hard before.
The man telling me...
Okay, and that's something we need to be looking at. I've never seen the man stumbling so hard. How do we know before he got into the camera that he did not hurt himself, hit his head, and make himself even more delusional than he was from the intoxication? Maybe there was more going on with him medically.
He didn't check on Riley since someone else was already there.
I yelled up.
I want you guys to listen to this. This is the part that's important to me. Listen.
Intoxicated, I guess. I mean, he was stumbling hard. I've never seen anybody stumble that hard before.
The man telling me he didn't check on Riley since someone else was already there.
I yelled up. They said, no, he's just drunk. He's okay.
The man, who asked not to be identified, says he reported the entire encounter to detectives. He says Riley continued in the same direction up 1st Avenue. But then Riley's trail stops. Other security footage just a block up the way doesn't appear to show Riley, according to his family. Riley's relatives, who have been in town...
Just a block, the next camera up the block. The very next camera up the block didn't get him on there. That tells me something happened from that last camera to that camera. What was it? Was he coaxed? Was he robbed? Was he abducted? And then there's another person that saw him. There was another person that was with him right then and there when that homeless guy from the homeless community said he saw him. He saw a commotion, that he fell into the bushes. Somebody was there, and no, he's intoxicated. He's okay. Who was that person that told this man he's intoxicated? He's okay. Because a lot of people said, based upon how he said this, it almost sounds like a frat boy, like another friend. But clearly he was alone. He wasn't with friends. So who was this mysterious person in and around Riley Strain at the time he disappeared? Was it another homeless person? Was it somebody there for nefarious reasons? And where his bank card was found was near a homeless camp. So did he go into that homeless camp? Did he try to sleep it off? Did somebody say, hey, come to my tent and just sleep it off? You're too messed up to keep walking like this, bro. But there was somebody else with this man, taking away attention from him. No, he's okay. He's just drunk. Nothing to see over here. Was he going to be this boy's friend? He's going to help him out? Just follow me. I'll get you back to your hotel, bro. Come on, let's go. Just cut through here. He was a target. He was vulnerable. And he had no clue how much trouble he could get himself into from other people around him or just by his condition. Could he have fallen over a rail? Guys, there are people right now. I can tell you this with almost all certainty. There have been multiple people. Hold on. Let's pull this down and then I'll pull it back up. Pulled from the Cumberland River. Almost looks like what we're seeing right now with him. The bridges. So this is not the first time. Oops. I'm trying to move it up, but it's not moving up. This is not the first time that we have people being fished out of this area. So is this a common thing? People get drunk and manage to fall into the water there? Because these things are dating back for many years of them. Several. One in April, one in September of 2023. Now him. Is there a problem out here? Is somebody doing this to these people? Or are they doing it to themselves? There's a lot of questions and a lot of unknowns when it comes to this case. But the law enforcement has isolated an area. They've found evidence in that area, right? His bank card is in the area where he disappeared. His phone last pinged from that same area. It is my belief he is somewhere right there. Whether they're seeing him or not seeing him, or if he's in the water, or if somebody sunk him in the water, he's right there, in my opinion. He's somewhere there. It's probably, he's right there in front of our face. You know, it's like the rattlesnake analogy. Or the forest tree analogy, right? You can't see the trees for the forest. Maybe he's right there and everybody is walking by him. This happened in another case. Remember that woman that walked out of her house? I can't even remember what state it was. And everybody thought it was, and it was right around, there was another case going on at the time. I think it was, I think the reason why we were looking at this case is because it had to have probably been in Pennsylvania or something like that. I think it was the Brian Kohberger case, and we were all entrenched in the Brian Kohberger case, and there was a couple people that disappeared from the area that he had came from, and one of them was found in the bushes. They had been looking for this woman for weeks, literally weeks, and they found her right off the side of the road in bushes. So they don't know if she was there trying to get high or somebody dumped her body. I didn't follow up with the case and don't even remember the lady's name, unfortunately. Dana Smithers. Yeah, Dana Smithers. Thank you, Phoenix. So is this something like a Dana Smithers case where he's right there? And it's just that he's right there. Nobody can see him. I don't know. But there's definitely a lot of stuff that's going on. And this is not the first time. Actually, this is a common thing for that river. So when you guys are out, enjoying your night, even if you get a little too intoxicated, order an Uber, probably the safest thing you can do. Spend the extra $10, right? $10 to save a life. It seems like a pretty good deal to me. Use an Uber and stay away from any water. Because this man, we saw him stumbling. There's no telling. And there's some places on that walk that go straight down. And you're talking about a person that can't even stand upright, falling all over the place. He may have hit his head. He may have hurt himself. He may have just walked a little bit further and just collapsed. And wherever he was, he fell over into something. He could have been walking and fell into a hole, for all we know. He was not in a good condition to be out there alone by himself. And it's just sad because I think everybody knows if this boy has not spoken, he's been gone a significant amount of time. If he is just injured, could he survive those injuries this long without food or water? I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, but I'm telling you, whatever it was can't be good. Whether foul play was involved or not, it can't be good. He went out to have a great time. He got separated from his group and he was never seen from again. And this is in a country that's being overran by people that are hunting down people to sell. As unfortunate as and disgusting and as disturbing as that is, that's what is going on here. And so people want to know, Paola Miranda Rosa is another name that I bring up frequently on this show because she was never found. She disappeared in a freaking reserve. Law enforcement is trying to say that it's a gator that attacked her. But you know what? I've been still watching alligator and crocodile attacks for some time. And I got to tell you, it's really noticeable. People are screaming, the croc's taking you under, doing the death roll, you're splashing. It's noticeable. So why do they think that this girl just disappeared by a gator when her shoes and a towel is draped over like it's in the back seat trying to dry, like she used it and it was wet? It was draped over the stuff in our back seat, draped over like we do when we're trying to dry out a towel. So it all appeared that she managed to make it back to her car. Law enforcement doesn't want to acknowledge it because they just want to chalk it up as, it was a gator. So then what do? They went and plastered huge gator signs throughout the park instead of acknowledging that something else could have happened to her. They had cameras around that park that were just there for deterrence purposes. Didn't even flippin' work. The camera at the front gate that you pay, that you think, oh, this is safe. I got a camera looking at everybody coming into this park. It didn't work. It wasn't even hooked up. Giving people a false sense of security, courtesy of our local government. So we don't know where Paola is. And it's sad. Because if a gator got her, we want to know. Put our mind at rest. But they can't prove that she was eaten by a gator. There's literally no proof of a struggle with a gator. There's no DNA in the water. They haven't found a stick of her clothes in the water on the embankment or anything else. And now we have this young man that's gone, that disappeared in similar circumstances, not in the same location, not out in the swamp, not in a reserve, but he was there one minute and gone the next. They've checked the waterways. So unless he's attached to something, he should be at the top of the surface at this point. And he's not. And he's gone. How do we know somebody isn't keeping him captive? People are twisted out there. If it can happen to women, why can't it happen to men? It does. Just because you don't hear about it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It happens more than anybody would like to think. This isn't a popular area, I always believe that there's somebody like that in every major community. Because they're going to want the most, they're hunters, right? But if it was like that, then where did he go? Have they tracked down all the cars that passed that camera a block down? Because you got to think of it. If he's going that direction, let's just play devil's advocate here. If he's going in that direction and say somebody saw him walking and said, hey, bro, get in the car. I'll take you where you need to go. Knowing that they're not going to take him where he needs to go. Maybe it's somebody with some weird proclivities that targeted him. Get in the car. Has all the cars that passed that camera been accounted for? Because one of two things happened. He either got in a car or he didn't. And if he didn't get in a car, then he's got to be right there somewhere, either in plain sight or not. And I'm a little concerned that these that law enforcement, I'm hearing law enforcement's not really searching the homeless camps. With all that trash there, how do we know he's not hidden under something? Law enforcement needs to be they need to search. Those people have that's not their property. If they are not with their property, it's abandoned. They do not need, it's on public property. They do not need a search warrant to go through that stuff. Now, inside the tent, they might, but doing a search on the outside, bringing some dogs on the inside, letting them go through there and sniff, giving them probable cause to search further, they can do that. It's public property. Public property. Let's see what we got. Cops love harassing homeless. I don't think they love harassing homeless. They have a job to do. And the bottom line is most of our communities, like one of the things I do here is I make sure that we never empower our sheriff to arrest people because they're broke. Our sheriff, in all fairness, doesn't want to arrest people because they have no home and they're broke. He does not like using our jail for, homeless hotel, even though we know homeless actually break the law during, winter months to have a warm place to lay their head through winter months. But, and that's sad. That's sad that they have to commit crimes just to get arrested to have a warm place to sleep. But honestly, there's many homeless people that do just that. They intentionally get caught for a crime to go to jail. So we really want to prevent that from happening. And this is also related to why I tell you guys to get involved in your community, because you can go to your county commission and let your sheriff know you don't want people arrested that are, have financial issues. That seems, counterproductive. We want them getting resources, not arrested. So, these are things that you guys can implement in your own community. I'm very thankful that here, I do have a voice here. I am heard sometimes. I mean, my current board is playing tug of war with me, and that's okay. If they want to, we will do it. But at the end of the day, they do, for the most part, listen and hear from the community. If you're there in person, of course. But these are things that you can do in your communities to make sure that if you, like for example, Mike, if you feel that way, maybe you should bring that up so you can shine a light on it in your community, because once you shine a light on it and expose an issue, you'll see a wave of people coming in with that issue. And once you start exposing it, now you can start resolving it and getting things under control. Our sheriff's department wasn't always a great sheriff's department. And quite frankly, in part, it needs a lot of work. I'm not going to sit here and act like my sheriff's department. It's no Grady Judd. Okay. I'll tell you that. But I'm very thankful that we have somebody that's not eager to go out there and start arresting people. Right. I mean, I don't want people in jail. I really don't. I think there's better uses of our tax funds, like getting them into drug rehab, getting them into work programs, where they can learn skills and go out there so they can go to work and make ends meet. A lot of these people, the reason why they're in trouble is because they're broke and they don't know how to get above it. And they have no education or skills to even try to rise above it. So they're in this perpetual cycle and they're just going to keep getting worse, because just like anybody else in a profession, whether it's a good profession or a bad profession, you learn skills over the years. Okay. You go from being a novice to an expert pretty quickly now, don't you? All right. I think that's really all the information, all the updated information I have on Riley, his path to travel, what my thoughts are on where he could be. If he didn't get in any vehicle, guys, he is right there. And I would definitely tell anybody that's searching to be searching that area, searching in the bushes, searching under piles of shit, anything that you can get your hands on to search, because if he didn't get in a car, he's right there. He's right there somewhere. Yeah, he probably did fall into the river. But you know what? It always concerns me because I've seen stuff like this before where somebody shoves somebody or stabs somebody and you hear something and the person's like, oh, and it's like, what happened? Oh, he just fell. See you later. But again, if he was stabbed, there would be some evidence there that law enforcement could find. You know, there's no way that they couldn't. So it could have been everybody's like, well, there was nobody that would help him. It sounds like there were several people along his path that did try to help him, whether we saw it on camera or not. So, we have to look at that. But I also wanted to show you guys that it is a real possibility of him being in that water, that this is not the first time they're having to pull somebody out of the water that had a really strong night out. The problem here is they're not pulling him from the water. He should be, he's been gone for a significant number of days at this point. His body, if he just fell into that water, would have already blown up into nobody wants to hear it like this, but a blimp. Because your body has a whole bunch of stuff going on, and when it breaks down, it builds up gas that needs to escape somehow. And so your body bloats and fills up with gas, and gas is lighter than water, so it takes you and brings you to the top. It brings you to the top. And if you don't believe me how it works, for those that have pools, do this. Go and get yourself a little float, right? And put your arms on it. And hold your breath. Go into the water and hold your breath. Go, and hold it. You'll find your whole body starts lifting up and coming to the surface of the water. And when you exhale that air, your legs start falling back into the water. You take a breath, you start rising up out of and you just hold on to your thing and do it. And you'll feel your legs start pulling up. And when you breathe out, you'll start feeling your legs falling back down. That's kind of the same thing that happens when you start decomposing. Your body starts filling up with all this gas. And it lifts your body to the water if you're sunk. Because there is a point when you stop breathing, you're sunk. Like I said, when you breathe that water out, what happens to your legs? They fall into the water. So when you lose your life, you're going to sink. And then as your body is breaking down and the gases are building up, you're going to start floating. So that's, at this point, I would expect that he would be at a top of the surface of something at this point. If something happened to him where he fell into the water. Do we know that to be true? No. Honestly, where his debit card is, and where his debit card was found, I'm very concerned that there's foul play. I won't lie to you. There's a real possibility of there being foul play in this case. And I know people are looking for him, but with him being by himself, that intoxicated in that area, he was a prime target for something horrible. Debit card in shirt pocket to buy drinks. Do we know that to be a fact, Ken? If it is, then that's good. At least we have something to work with. But I have no idea. I didn't pay attention to him, or I don't know if anybody has been paying attention to him. Is the phone off? It shouldn't be. Receiving calls. Is it not ringing? Hold on, let me turn it off and turn it back on. It should be. Let me refresh. Maybe it did something whenever. Let me see if I have any. Hold on a second. Did you try calling? We do have several people that tried calling in. I don't know what's going on with the phones, guys. I just refreshed. There we go. Hold on a second. Let me just get you off. I think it was some issue. Hold on, guidance. All right, there we go. Hold on a second. Let me get you on the tab. There we go. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hopefully the audience can hear you too.
Okay, awesome. Going. I was just gonna be quick and fast, but I was thinking. Justin mentioned that the depth of that river could go down to like 90 feet, and on top of it, wondering what the flow, what the how fast the flow is of the river, because once he said the depth, it was like a light bulb in my head thinking of what Tim said when he compared to Audrey. If she wasn't tethered down, how fast she would have been, like 100 miles out.
Right.
So I'm curious on those speculations as well. And also, I was going to reach out. I have a couple people that have their own channels that just document the nightlife. And then that one was a busker in front of Luke Bryan for like 10 years. But now he's down here in Florida. And what their thoughts are, because it'd be interesting to understand of like what happens down there, or how common, what the basic factors are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that area, because from what I understand, well, this was more for the Texas missing in Corpus Christi, but there was quite a few missing. So it was just my thoughts. I think he is there, but it's the depth, the temperature, and there's so many.
Is the water, do you know of how cold the water is there? Because that, that would prevent breaking the decomposition breakdown, which could delay the
floating up.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I was thinking, and how fast the current is. The deciphers also how far his body could have traveled if he did not get stuck or isn't held down somehow as well. I was thinking of all of those different factors that could be into play, but it definitely, I've been watching this and just a thought.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Well, let me ask you this, Guidance. What are your probabilities based on the information we have now as this being just a horrific accident versus potential foul play being involved?
It could be a mixture of both, because shoot, it happened to one of my old employees where the detective tried to give me this excuse that he had a lump on his head from being in ICU for so long. No, the nurses said he came in with the lump on his head. There's so many factors of experience of where when you do go into those type of environments, they do go and try to go after vulnerable people, especially to pocket pick.
Yeah.
And you never know if he could have fought back, or if there was a struggle, or if he just simply tripped and fell into the water. But for his wallet to be out, you have to look at how far it was from the shore bank. And if he was looking for it prior, there's different scenarios that could have happened. So I'm kind of on the line of nefarious, or he was just, and I agree with you. When he fell, that was my first thought. There's some damage there, because that looked like a hard hit.
That looked like an extremely hard hit. And then the next one, he's kind of walking with his head kind of down further as he's kind of holding himself up with the wall. And I'm like,
right.
Maybe he's dealing with more medical from the fall. I mean, people don't realize when they're drunk how hard. I mean, he could have hit that concrete, or even just the cement, just the walk itself. I mean, that was
correct. And it's almost like the same scenario of a car accident. When you're in the car accident, you don't realize you're in so much pain until the adrenaline goes away. It's kind of in the same sense of drinking.
Yeah.
When you've been drinking, you don't feel the pain as much.
You don't feel anything. That's why you wake up with all those bruises all over you the next day.
Exactly. So that's why I'm on the line of somebody could have very well tussled with him for his stuff. But then again, when you look at those two, there's certain pictures, especially in the Facebook groups, of looking at the bank. It is super steep.
I know. I saw that.
It could have been an easy flip over, and him being so and I would consider it being more of a head trauma than how intoxicated he was did not help.
Yeah.
Of a flip over and in. But I'm kind of tossed on it because, I ran a restaurant downtown for 12 years, so I've seen them go after the ones that are drunk too, or even the homeless themselves. So that's why I kind of want to reach out to some of the locals that I knew that were working the streets down there to see what their thoughts were as well. And for him to go the opposite way of his hotel, that means he was disoriented.
He was disoriented. Yeah, he was disoriented. And again, what if somebody was like, "Hey, I know where you need to go. Come over here. Follow me here." And next thing you know, he's got to crack up the side of the back. And I mean, anything could have happened to this kid. But again, it seems like everything happened between those bridges. So wherever he is, it seems probable that he's somewhere there. Or again, if he was introduced in the water, he very well could be upstream.
And that's where I was thinking, which way does the stream flow? And
from my understanding, in the direction he was walking. So if we're walking that direction, then they took those boats along the edge to see if it's possible he got caught up on anything. But he floated downstream. But I think downstream is the direction he was going, if I'm getting it correctly.
Right. And there's so many variables. It could be nefarious because I've seen them go after people that need the money or are just looking for a basic pocket pick and not know if they're going to fight back.
Right.
When they fight back, it's one nice little hit, and that could have been the tumble that got him, especially with already the head injury. So thank you for covering this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And like I said, we had so many cases, and this is one of the cases that somebody had asked me to cover that I had no information on, but I was watching Justin for All. So, that was like a 2-hour live. So while he was talking, I was researching, and I'm like, okay, so I have, obviously have an opinion on the Riley case, but just how perplexing it is, how extremely sad it is. So
I agree.
So
and I just hope they find him, and
I hope he's just injured and just really weak, and maybe they find him in healthy condition. But it's already been so long at this point. You gotta unless somebody's taking care of him or nursing him, and we don't know. We saw that girl that got beat up by those kids, and head injuries, and how she's fighting for her life right now. And
exactly.
I keep, seeing him hit that thing. I mean, granted, it wasn't over and over and over again, but, it only takes one time.
Yep, because it was the frontal lobe of his head and towards the temple.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't take much for that area.
Yeah. Let me grab this. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. I don't know if the last lady mentioned this because my phone kept cutting off, but it sounds similar to the Ladybird Lake killings. It's young men.
Yeah.
Got a group of people drugged, and they rob them. They act like they're Ubers, but they go around the country. They just caught 4 of them, and here in Austin, and it just sounds so similar to that.
Yeah.
It fits the whole scenario of what they did to him, drugging him, letting him walk some distance near the lake, robbing him, and throwing him in the water. But they still haven't found I think they did find a group, like it's a sting. It's a group. It's a group of women that go around putting something in their drink, but the bartender is involved. Someone in the club is involved.
Yeah.
They just can't really prove it. But that's what's happening over here. And it just sounds so familiar. And Nancy Grace did a segment on it. And I'm like, did it get too hot over here that now they moved?
Hey, you never know. But you know what? It was the Lady Bird case is the reason why. I couldn't remember where that case was, which made me look into the Cumberland River
Yes.
You know,
yeah, when you were doing that, I'm like, you're almost there, Betty. You're there. I was like, keep searching.
Yeah,
You were on the right
because I was
track when you
thinking of
started
Lady
searching.
Bird when because I'm like, wait a minute, how many more people are winding up in the river if they think he's in the river? And I started looking at this and I'm like, 2015, 14, 15, 16. I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of people coming out of this river.
In Austin, there's like 20.
Yeah. Well,
men,
10 bodies found in
young men.
Austin Lake over the past, I don't know
Yeah.
where it's. Let me see.
Recently, this isn't.
Over the past 20 months, 20 months, 10 bodies.
Yes. And so when Nancy Grace did that segment, I'm like, did it get too hot over here? And they're like, let's move on somewhere else near a body of water, you know, because that water has to be somewhere else, you know, it has to be near for what they want to do.
And this was next to nightlife too. This was people coming out of nightlife type bars and scenes and, you know, walking
and
to
they
their
get
cars.
kicked out by the bouncer. All of the guys that were found, they were kicked out of the bars.
Yes, Allie.
By themselves.
Yes, it's in Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
But yes, I just wanted to bring that to light because nobody's talked about it. And I've heard, you know, other podcasts and segments, and I'm like, man, nobody's talking about this. But I want to tell you because you know, you listen and you do your research and you do all the good stuff.
But it was Lady Bird. I couldn't remember where Lady Bird was, and I'm like, I remember this. It was near nightlife. It's near water. I'm like, this has nightlife. This is near water, and I started researching
Boys, young men. Young men.
Young men, yep.
All young men. There was no women. I mean, there was other accidents, but here lately it's just been young men. And so seeing this, and they let them walk some distance, and then they either, I believe, someone would pull up and act like an Uber. It's a thing. So it's a group of them. They follow them and they rob them.
Well, we saw how these things work a little bit when we were looking at that little boy getting taken out of that Walmart or attempted to be taken out of that Walmart. How easily it is. You know, one person's distracting the parent while the other person's snatching the kid. And you got to think that that is deployed in a lot of these type of things. Somebody's being distracted while somebody's doing the dirty.
Yep. Somebody put something to drink and somebody's watching their back.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken here, somebody in the club is also involved, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think
somebody's giving them the drink.
Yeah, but I don't think in this particular case, I know that there's been a lot of rumors that he could have been potentially drugged or something like that. I don't believe that's the case because of how many bars they went to before he got kicked out of this one. They were drinking an excessive amount of alcohol that day. So when we heard the initial reports of him only having the one drink, that was at the last bar he was at. They would not serve him anymore because he was so inebriated.
Got it.
So I don't think, you know, I think when we first heard that, we were like, only one drink and he was that drunk. And there was other reports that came back that said that they had been at multiple bars that day.
So now I understand why you're saying head injury.
Yeah.
When he, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I think he was really intoxicated, but I think that fall, you know, because he was intoxicated, he would not have had the muscle control to help prevent his head from hitting hard. It would have just went down like a bag of bricks.
And although he's a tall guy, he isn't fairly big to handle
but when you go straight down on concrete with all your body weight, it does damage. I've watched a man that got killed. He had a heart attack, and when he dropped to the floor, hit the weight of his body crushed in the side of his face. He could have survived the heart attack, but he couldn't survive the damages from the fall.
I know there was one guy here too, got somebody, he was drunk and got into an altercation. One punch, hit the ground and died.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he was a tall, and people need to understand, he was a very tall kid. He stood out in a crowd.
Right. I found, I'm praying he gets found. And with the true crime community pushing it out there and pushing, I mean, y'all have done so much in this day and age. I'm just proud of this generation and all we've we've come so far.
Mhm.
Back then, we wouldn't even be able to crack anything. Now we have true crime people like you that help, and I'm so grateful for you.
Yeah,
And
we usually
everyone
get
else
on the
that
ground,
puts the stories out there.
and Olivia's there right
I tell
now.
my daughters, I tell my daughters, if anything ever happens to me, you contact Bullhorn Betty. Go look for me.
Yeah, we will definitely look for you. Well, and you know what? I'm really proud because, I keep thinking everybody always, criticizes people like me that go out
Yeah.
there. But this is another incident
Yep.
where law enforcement was all over that area and a key detail is missed. Now, granted, the water bottle we found in
Right.
Gabby Petito's case, that wasn't
Right.
a crucial piece of evidence, let's face it. It was just something law
But it
enforcement
was right.
Yeah.
Right. Y'all go in and that's what I in other channels that I do, listen to, and I do hear some talk about this or that of other channels, and it's like I always comment like, please don't get involved if I ever come missing. I need Betty. I need everybody involved.
Get Chronicles of Olivia and me.
Yes, and Chronicles, and please don't get involved. Let them do their thing because y'all do a great job. Honestly, great job. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of your channel, and you've come so far, and you keep going.
Yeah, we will continue to. Like I said, once we get the car out, like I would have already been in Tennessee. I would have already been in Kissimmee, but I'm kind of, grounded at the moment. But hopefully I made it through 1 week of without, I've been ordering food, ordering groceries. I've been doing it. I've been home, I've been working through it, but I got to tell you, it's rough whenever you need to go. Like if you have a sweet tooth, oh my gosh, you don't think about things like this, like where you need to go get ice cream and you can't, you walk out the front door and you're like, shit, I don't have a car.
Yep. Yep. Oh my gosh. Well, we're here for you. You just ask and we will help.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You have a good day, Betty.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too. God bless. Bye.
Bye.
So anyways, that's where we're at. Yeah, there's Lady Bird was one of the reasons that I started looking at the history of how many times they look into this thing because I wanted to see what was going on. Is there an uptick? I gotta say there's an uptick in people going into that river, being pulled out of that river, because just in 2023, I think I counted at least 4 or 5 people being pulled from that area. Now, one was like in Clarksville. And most of them were in Nashville, so they're not in the necessarily the general area. And I didn't research those specific cases, so I don't know what the detail of those cases are. I just wanted to give a preliminary look. Is this common? Is this something common out there in that particular area of people getting drunk and being introduced to that water some way, whether they fell over or what those issues are? Because let's face it, if this is what's happening, people are getting drunk and some of them are getting confused and they're going in the water and losing their life. Well, we need to find out how they're getting into that water and making sure that things are put up to prevent them from getting into the water so they're more safe, when they're being unsafe themselves. So it's not just about finding this out, it's also about preventing it from happening in the future. We need to find out what happened. And if it wasn't just a tragic accident, we need to find out how it happened and prevent it from happening in the future. So that's really what, why I really want to know what happened here, because, we saw his condition. He was primed for a number of things to happen to him, being alone, being obviously very confused, very inebriated. He was unable to control his body's movements and motions at this point. He was so inebriated. He was losing balance. He lost all sense of direction. He wasn't cognizant. He was definitely not cognizant. He was not being able to think clearly, form clearly, understand direction clearly. And so it made him a target. Now we pray to God that that's not the case, but we're looking at all aspects of this, and accidental as well as foul play. Because his fraternity brothers were still at the bar when all of this stuff is going on. it would be a stranger danger type of situation, in my opinion, unless there's evidence that these guys went and picked him up off the side of the road, which I doubt because they're sitting at the police station concerned but not concerned that morning. I'm sure they're very concerned right now. But for guys to actually get up and go to the police station to report, like they're like, wait a minute, bro, he's not answering his phone. He's not here. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. He never made it back. What happened? They're probably all confused, coming off of their drunkenness and trying to piece together what happened that night. And when they realized he left the bar alone and hasn't been seen from again, they're probably freaking out. And so they get up to the police station. The police station's closed. I'm sure they're looking at it like, what the is going on here? I don't understand this. Like, who shuts a police station down? Any community that's shutting a police station down, I like, not to have one or two people man it. That just seems so. I mean, and we're taught. I mean, granted, we all have cell phones until we don't, right? You guys watch me. I had to sit here 2 weeks to get a cell phone. I lost my license. I couldn't get it. I couldn't just walk into my DMV and get a license. My phone company wouldn't open up a phone until I could prove I'm who I am. I couldn't even buy a new phone or open my account up or unlock my account for that matter until I could prove who I was. I couldn't prove who I was because my DMV wouldn't allow me to get in there for 2 weeks to get a replacement license. So I had to sit here for literally 2 weeks with no license. So I couldn't really drive. I drove to the store, but I really shouldn't have been driving. I had no license, and I had an active license, just not one with me. And you're required to have your license on your persons when you're operating a motor vehicle. So I was really kind of here. It's bad. So what do you do when you don't have a phone? I couldn't order an Uber. I couldn't order food. I couldn't order jack shit because everything wants you to do it through the app to prove who you are. I had no credit cards. I had to leave one credit card open that I could remember the credit card number just so I could have access to something. It sucked. So what do you do when you don't have a phone? You go to a police station. Why? Because you can't call 911. And you get to the police station, and the police station is closed. I would be freaking out. As a female, if something like that happened to me, I would be freaking out. Okay? Something happened to me. I'm in need. I go to a police station, and the freaking police station is closed. No phone on the outside. So, was it closed that night? Could he have went there? I'm sure they checked the surveillance and everything. I'm sure they checked the surveillance on everything. But knowing that he was at that one bridge, and right before that one bridge, he was caught on surveillance, and he wasn't caught on surveillance the next camera 1 block up, some feet away from him, but just some feet away from him, he was never captured again. It's telling me right there is ground zero. Right there. And if he's not somewhere there, he's in that water downstream. And if he's not downstream and they cannot find that man, something bad happened to that man. Something happened to that man. So again, I don't know what's going on in this case. All I can do is provide you my updated information about what I feel is going on with the case. I don't know if this is a tragic accident or if foul play is involved. But if they can't find this man, and we believe he went into the water, then he most likely didn't go into the water. But we'll find out. We don't know how cold the water is. There are a lot of variables. But thank you, Mama Llama. That's what we need to do right now for all of the victims that we're covering today. And, we just need to pray for them. We need to pray for them. We need to, God moves mountains. I truly believe that. And I just believe that he is going to come home. It's just a matter of time. But at this point, we can all assume that it's not going to be good, because if it was going to be good, he would have already called family and friends. He would have already called for a ride. He would have had some activity on his social media. Obviously he can't have any activity related to money because he doesn't have his card. So there's a lot of variables here as to where he could be. But I think the biggest clue out of all is those bridges. From one bridge to the other, he disappeared. He disappeared. So as soon as I get my car back, we'll figure out what we are going to do, what we're going to do. As promised, I wanted to go over some things related to Maddie Soto. Maddie Soto is a 13-year-old little girl that was brutalized that weekend, maybe longer, but was abused horribly from the age of about 8 years old up until 13, right after her 13th birthday, when she lost her. Nobody has been arrested for her abduction, her disappearance, or her death. Her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, is in jail right now for a ridiculous amount of crimes against this child. Ridiculous amounts. Things that happened to her that I cannot even talk about on this show. It's too graphic. It's too disturbing. It's too heartbreaking to discuss. And everybody has been questioning how much mom knew. And I have been kind of on this battle alone, by myself, on this cry that I don't believe Jen knew anything about what was going on with her daughter. I looked into Jen's background. I've looked at Jen. I've had an opportunity to take just a look-see inside of her life, and she looked like a mother that loves her daughter. And so we've been looking at this information for a while, and we're like, the dates. We equated it to being around her birthday or around, we kept asking what was going on in June and July. Why are all these things in June or July, June and July, June and July, 2019, 2023, 2022, June and July, June and July, June and July, August, June and July. And somebody, I do a lot of research. A lot of people realize that I don't, I used to, when I first came out on YouTube, I could spend 8 hours on here and just, kick back and chat with you guys forever and ever. And we just had a great time doing that. And, the more that we were growing, the more people were getting jealous and being nasty to us and all these other things. But I spent a lot of time here with you guys. We were in a larger team where everybody kind of had their own little jobs to do. And so it wasn't as painstaking as it is now, where I've got to do 3 people's work in one, because of the way everything kind of, we're all kind of doing our own things and going different directions and doing stuff like that. I think Olivia and I kind of stick together the most because we cover things together, and we're both females. So it's just easier for us to travel together. It's easier for us to, split cost and stuff like that to help it more manageable, not only for Olivia, but as well as me. And it gives you somebody to collaborate with and talk to and bounce things off and bounce theories off and try to figure out where things are. So it does work really, really well. But I got to say that when it comes to this particular case, it's very disturbing, but I really don't have a whole lot of people to bounce things off of. She's right now immersed in Riley Strain's case. I'm immersed in Maddie Soto's case because it's right here in my backyard. And we're learning. I've been watching other people. I've been going through a lot of different other creators. One of the stuff I stick to is I love Vinnie Politan. I love Court TV. I love Law and Crime. But I have a lot of people in the business that I, speak to out in the field and whatnot. And one of the people that we always see is Law and Crime. I don't really get to see Vinnie Politan, but I do get to see several of their reporters that are usually on the ground, and they're very good. But long story short, one of the things I was watching was Vinnie Politan yesterday, and it was brought to our attention one key factor that it was just like the light bulb went off over my head, and I said, yep, there it is. The reason why all these are happening when they're happening is that appears to be Florida's summer break. Summer break. So now we understand that he was abusing this child during summer break. This is Betty. Hold on just a second. Let me get you on the right channel. This is Betty.
Yes, this is Doug from Tennessee.
Well, hello, Doug. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. The problem is we have no family values in life no more.
I agree.
And this internet stuff has got to be cut down to 18 years and older.
I agree.
But these parents, they let their kids get on the internet. They get involved with these pedophiles, and then they cry when something happens to the children.
Yeah, and there's no way you can control. You can control the kids, but you can't control the animals out there on the internet.
Right, but if they took and you committed a crime like this Soto girl and made examples of these people doing this stuff, I mean, you don't get no court case, you don't get no jury trial, you get a judge. And if it's 100% proven you're there, you're gone in 90 days.
Yeah, they need to do something.
And never get another chance to do it again.
Absolutely not. I think that our systems are getting wise, that all these things, sex crimes that they've allowed to just get 1 or 2 and 3 years, they realize now that they did themselves a disservice because these people are becoming animals in today's society and they are preying upon women and children.
Yes. And as far as these school shootings, you can't rehabilitate them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You do a school shooting, you do a mass shooting like up in Kansas City, you're gone.
Yeah.
90 days, you're out of here. Never have to worry about you doing it again.
Our laws, we complicate everything in this country. We complicate everything into this country because we don't want somebody's feelings being hurt. And I'm so tired of it, because if we just uncomplicated things and said, hey, you know what, this is the way it is, and somebody even was as barbaric as to say, public hangings, bring public hangings back. And I'm sorry, I agree. I'm a little more barbaric than the rest, but you know what? Something's got to be done to stop this, and maybe more publicity might be what.
And do it in public.
In public, in the public square.
Right on television, live.
Yeah.
And then people would think about it.
I truly believe they would.
Like that little girl up there, Summer Wells, and here in Tennessee. Need to take that woman, turn her upside down, start pouring water down her nose until she tells you where that baby's at.
Yeah.
You don't have 2 children get missing in your own family.
That's just weird.
And then grandma's had a step in both of them. She was around when both of them happened.
Both of them. Yep. And grandma was the only one that left that mountain for a significant amount of time after she left, or after Summer disappeared too.
Now, I'll tell you something else. That milk story about the milk. You can take milk and pour it over a body, and it will disappear within 3 days.
Interesting.
And that's because a bear will go after spoiled milk.
Interesting. So there might be a reason for the milk.
A bear will go after spoiled milk because it's a current or the smell.
It smells like food.
And that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And,
so do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think this guy in Maddie Soto's case? Do you think he committed these crimes before Maddie?
No. That's why they're not arrested him yet.
Interesting. Yeah.
I believe at a birthday party, they doped that little girl up. Was no children around. She was SA'd by several people. Mama woke up, she was dead from ODing.
Wow.
Called boyfriend, helped me get rid of the body.
So you think mom's totally involved in this, huh?
She knows. But I just got a feeling the little girl OD'd.
Yeah. I thought you know what's kind of funny? You said that. I never even put those two things together, but I did bring up that I thought he had drugged them in the past, but I didn't even think about that. You know, that could be why this particular day. Everybody wants to know why. You know, why this day? If he's been doing this since she was 8 years old, why this day? Maybe you just answered it. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was due to some types of intoxication.
Well, there was no children at her party.
That we know of. We haven't found any, nobody's really talked about her party, and we're deciphering like literally one photo that had like 3 guys in the background. But I don't know if there was any children, but it doesn't sound like there was any children. There's no photos of her with children.
Right. Just a picture of her with a little cake and 3 guys in the background.
Yeah. That is a little
But
concerning.
I got a feeling they was pimping that little girl out.
I pray to God that's not the case. I do. I just pray to God that's not the case. But it's possible. And that's the sick.
He had videos for some reason.
Yeah.
Videos. You don't take videos, and you don't stand there and do the deed and have somebody else has got to take the video.
I wonder if it's one of those 3 guys.
I got a feeling Mama was in on it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of
There's a
people
lot of
have
money.
questions about Mom. I haven't gotten there yet. There's got to be something a little bit with a little more meat on the bone.
There's a lot of money in that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
No,
sorry.
we know. It's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise across this world,
And sick people
and sick people, some really twisted sick people
that need to be gone.
that they need to be exterminated. You know, instead of
And
us
you-
worrying about, this cultural issue of extermination, we need to be going after them.
Will he do it again when he gets out?
He absolutely
yeah.
will. They're sick,
Yes. He may not do it the next day,
but
but he'll get right back in that clique.
Yep.
But I just believe that they're going to have to tighten up on people. Look at Florida down there right now. Shootings.
Yeah, that's my state, Florida. That's where I'm at. That's
And
where
I
I'm.
guarantee you, they're underage kids. The parents let them go, walk out of the house with a gun, and never said a word. And I believe parents can be held responsible if your child gets a gun and goes out and does a shooting.
Yeah. Because
you're responsible for that.
And I agree with that, Doug, because here's why. Nobody knows your children better than you do. And if you're living in the house and you are seeing red flags, it's your responsibility. Nobody's going to know about them but you. It's your responsibility to try to help that child before it goes to a mass type of shooting situation. And that's the problem here is these parents, they're sticking their head in the ground, acting like this is just normal behavior or they'll grow out of this phase. Meanwhile, they're getting an arsenal in their closet, but because parents want to let their children have privacy, nobody knows anything until it's too late. And I'm tired of people being able to say, well, I didn't know. How could you not know? You've been complaining on Facebook for the last year. Your child's been distant and your child has been distracted and detached and showing some signs of violence. But you don't think it rises to the level of getting that child help just complaining on social media?
And then got a wad of money in their pocket bigger than you ever made.
Yeah.
They got a wad of money in their pocket.
These kids.
Like the Andrews dude on the case of Summer Wells.
Andrew Heltz. Yeah. What a trash bag.
Look at his son. His son was a gang banging thug and been doing it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Allie knew it. His mom knew it. His grandma, all them others knew how that little boy was.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get on TV and flash gang signs if you're not in it.
Exactly.
And then,
or want to be in it, there are people that try to act cool and try to be associated with something that they're not, especially at age. But I have to think with the people he was hanging around gangbangers. I seen them myself when I was there.
yes.
So.
And the parents don't care.
Mm-mm.
They don't care.
And now that Allie's gone, he's screwed because there's no way he's going to get the kind of support he got from Allie from his dad. His dad's a piece of shit.
Now wait a minute. Yeah, you bring me that talk about Allie. She was right up there with them people. She right in the clique.
Yeah.
She's right in the clique with Don. Candace.
She was.
So she's no better than the rest of them.
Yeah, she was in the clique
They
with
know-
them. Actually, she's the one that gave me a lot of inside information about the interior of the house and stuff like that. That all came from Allie, to be honest with you.
Okay, if you visited there, you know what's going on. Why didn't you report it?
Yeah, and those were my questions. Those were my questions. But just like everybody else, they were all dealing with their own shit. Nobody really thought it would happen until it was too late, and by that time, you can't unfix it.
Well, they know how them kids were treated. They know how the mom and daddy was. They was either getting pills from them or giving them pills,
And that
or
was
whatever
it.
you want to say.
Yeah, that was it.
They
I
was
think it was
all-
all drugs.
And they all in the clique, and nobody said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after something happened, they will go, "Oh, they were this, they were that." You should have said something before they was this and that.
Yeah, I agree.
You should have said something, and that little girl would be here.
Yeah, everybody failed. Everybody
And
failed.
then They is a possibility that the girl's not dead, and she's in a convoluted one of them like Branch Covidian compounds,
Mm-hmm.
taken by the church, and they would never be seen because they don't have to come out.
Yeah. I
They
hope
don't
the
have to
church
come
isn't
out.
involved. I really do. I hope the church isn't involved in all of this. And if they are involved, why they didn't take all the kids? They only took one.
Because of her eyes and her what was already happening to her, and that little girl that the one she was in love with, her Sunday school teacher.
Yeah, Miss Robin.
She's a Branch Davidian survivor.
What does that mean?
She was 8-year-old out there with David Koresh in Texas.
Oh. I did not know
She
that.
was 8-year-old when that happened.
Interesting.
And she survived that. That she would know where the other compounds is at.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people that were pointing the finger at her early on, at possibly because of their relationship between Summer Wells and her. But Doug, I appreciate you calling in, but I'm going to have to let you go because I got to get on to the other parts of this show so I can close out.
Well, check in on that Robin being in the Branch Davidian.
Okay, yeah, I'll write it down and I'll look into it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
All right, see you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Interesting. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that last caller, a lot of what the last caller said. So, I like hearing people plugged into these things and thinking about them and stuff like that. But, bringing back to Summer Wells, which we can't help but to think, what poor Summer went through, because we all believe something similar to what Maddie was going through was what we believe happened to Summer. So it's kind of hard talking about these cases without including another familiar name into it. Do we know what happened? And do we believe? I believe everybody for Summer Wells failed her. I believe the friends failed her. The friends that were coming over and saw the conditions they were living in. But you know what? More importantly, what makes me so upset is law enforcement and the Department of Children and Family Services out there, because law enforcement was the one going to the house. Law enforcement seen the conditions of those kids. Law enforcement knew what kind of fights and arguments were going into that house and why they weren't reporting this to the Department of Children and Family Services. And if they were, why the Department of Children and Family Services weren't doing anything to help Summer Wells and her brother. I don't know. I have no earthly idea why nobody helped Summer. But nobody did until she was gone. And then everybody scratching their ass wanting to know how this happened, because nobody was doing their damn job. That's how this happened. Every time law enforcement went out to that house, they should have been referring this case over to the Department of Children and Family Services because of the mere condition of their home alone. But you know what? They weren't. Why? Is it common in Tennessee for children to live in squalor? It's one thing to be poor. It's another thing to be filthy. You don't have to be filthy because you're poor. You're filthy because you choose to be filthy, or you have some disabilities preventing you from being able to properly care for yourself. And in that case, I would hope that your family or friends would help you to properly care for yourself. But in this case, you had well-bodied parents and a grandmother that chose to live in this. Not because they had to, but because they refused to do something like be clean. These kids weren't getting baths when they were supposed to. Candace was taking a shower maybe once a week. She stunk. Everybody talked about how Candace smelled in the weeks leading up to Summer's disappearance. Even the day that she showed up to Allie's house, Candace was not clean. And when the kids did get in the shower, they all got in the shower with Dad. Yes, that's correct. 3 boys, a girl, and Dad in a tiny shower taking a bath. But there are people that are out here on YouTube saying that I shouldn't say anything bad about these people. You have lost your damn mind. You have lost your damn mind. And we've got Don Wells on the record. His voice is the one telling me that not only did he take a shower with his daughter, but also with his 3 boys at the same time. A 5-year-old girl doesn't need that much sausage in her face. I'm sorry. That's highly disturbing for me. Highly disturbing for me. So, anyways, guys, that's what I have here. Let me see if there's anything else here that I wanted to talk about, Maddie. Oh, there is. There is. I want you guys to hear this. Hold on a second. Finish. So. All right, hold on just a second. Let me get to the. Hold on, there's 2 boys. Okay, here it is. These are her friends speaking. So there's a lot of pain to be had, but one thing her friends talked about. Oh, you couldn't hear the video? It is what it is. Let me just go back. Let me refresh this. Hold on. Let me take this off. I'll take this off and put it back on. Hold on a second. Usually that fixes the problem. We've been having audio issues. I'm not sure how to fix them because they just all of a sudden started happening. So I don't know. I usually don't have these problems, but apparently I do. Okay, so let me go back to that. I'll pull that back up. I just added it back to the stream. It didn't work. Well, the bottom line is whether it worked or not. I don't know why I'm having problems with this or not. I try to take it out. So her friends basically said that she was beautiful. She tried to see the best in everybody, and that she was really just the one girl was like, she was my best friend. And so these girls are her best friend, and it didn't sound like she even confided in them as to what was going on. And yeah, I know, Liz, there's some audio issue. I don't know why it's not. I'm not going to sit here and keep worrying with it. there's obviously some type of audio issues here. Let me see if I can change the site settings real quick. Camera, allow. Microphone, allow. Okay, let me just see if that'll help. Hopefully it does, but I don't know. Let me just refresh. We'll refresh this. I'll take this off. I take this off again, and I'll put it back on and see if we'll try it one more time, just so if you guys can hear it potentially. If not, there's not a whole lot I can do. I can only do so much. I don't know what these audio issues are for. Okay, you guys hear that or no? No. Okay. Then there's not really a whole lot that I can do. I can put this on the phone. Let me see. This is on Twitter. Hold on a second. I'll let you guys watch it on Twitter. I'll just have to do it from my phone. Let me find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one here. I think this is it. Okay.
Imagina que la niña venía caminando por acá y luego.
Okay, here it is.
I could do it. Esa joven atrevida que hacía lo que fuera por ver a otros sonreír. She always had a smile. She was always laughing and giggling. De carcajada contagiosa. She was happy. She was pretty. Alegre, hermosa. She always saw the good in everybody. Alguien que veía lo bueno en quienes la rodeaban. Maddie was like my best friend, right? Hija, nieta, mejor amiga. Y hoy también un motivo de unión y el despertar de.
So those are her friends. Those are her friends speaking to Telemundo. And these girls right here speaking to Telemundo about what, about their friend. And they were talking about how she loved to see the great in everybody. They were best friends. They loved her. She was sweet. She always tried to find the good in everyone. Just talking really good things about her, talking about how beautiful she was, how pretty she was, how kind she was, just stuff. And it just shows you that these girls knew nothing about her abuse. They knew nothing about it. These were her best friends. These were her best friends. So she was obviously not talking about it because it seems to me that these would be the people that she would talk about this situation to or advise them how to handle it. Maybe they're the ones, letting her know that these things don't normally happen. And then we couple it with the attacks and all the photos and evidence of this abuse being during summer break. I truly believe this mother had no clue. I still haven't gotten there where I see this horrible monster in the mom yet. And I know a lot of people, even Doug, like Doug was just here and he believes that the mom's an active participant in all of this. And, to each their own. I can't tell you how to think. I can only provide you information. And hopefully we all get to where we need to go. Was she allowed to have friends over? Good question, Allie. I don't know. We know that there were no friends at her birthday, and that's odd. These are her best friends. Why were these girls here not at her birthday party? Why were these girls here not at her birthday? Or were they? Maybe those photos were taken before everybody arrived. Maybe they took photos. You know how sometimes when you're planning the party and your mom wants you to go, or, I'm saying mom because, my mom was always at my parties. So mom always wants you to go stand by your cake and take the picture before everybody gets there and everybody gets frantic and you forget to take the shot that you really need. So maybe it was a situation like that where maybe her grandmother was there and said, hey, go buy your cake and your things. Let me get a picture before your friends get here. Maybe the photo that we're looking at with the three guys, maybe that was before the party even started. We don't know. We're lacking that information. We're assuming an awful lot. And so I'm not saying that those assumptions are wrong. I'm just saying we're assuming an awful lot. That's all I'm simply saying. So when it comes to Madeline Soto, again, I'm kind of on a different end in this case than most people. It seems like a lot of people, and this whole thing about her, there is a possibility that she's ST'd, that he had other people. I'm not, to be honest with you, outside of the speculative nature of this and the fact that he has photos, there has been no information that I've found, online or otherwise, that indicate he has been soliciting these images to everyone. Now, there's a good and a bad to that. The bad part is, I don't believe. I mean, the good part is I don't believe she was trafficked. And there's another good part of it is I don't believe that these images were sold to a third party, which would have even been more detrimental, in my opinion. I think the reason why he took these videos was because he watched them when he wasn't around her. Again, he's a predator. He's sick in the head. That's his memorabilia. That's his reward. That's something that he probably watched several times a day. As sick as that is, when she wasn't there or when he couldn't touch her, he had to have somebody to feed that fix. And I think that those videos and images were what fed that fix when he couldn't abuse this child. So I think that there are reasons he had those videos and photos on his phone. I don't think it's because of what people think, like with the whole ST aspect of it. I haven't gotten there yet either. I know that there's a lot of people that have in their mind, this is what they think happened. But I live in a world that I need, something a little more than just my thoughts. So I've got to have something leading me to that theory or speculation. And right now I'm not seeing any of that, just like I'm not seeing anything other than people's opinion that Jen Soto knew what was going on with her daughter. And every time we read about this case, we're finding more and more information, honestly, that proves that Jen most likely didn't know. I mean, even down to the summer vacations of abuse. This would have been going on during summer vacation when Stephan had full access with that child and mom did not. This wasn't happening when it doesn't appear that this abuse was happening when mom was around, is what I'm trying to say. So there is stuff that is supporting the possibility that Jen Soto didn't know. There's not a whole lot supporting anything that she did know. Like, people believe she knows, but there's no information supporting that theory. But there's a lot of information that really is supporting the theory that mom may not have known at all. Now, granted, we still come back to that gut instinct. She should have known something was going on, and she very well may have known something was going on. But who would have thought something like this? I definitely didn't. Even after hearing that Stephan Sterns had possible images on his phone of problematic behavior with an underage child, like, even at that moment, we knew it was bad. But for me, I was not expecting a 60-page indictment. Okay, I'm sorry. That took me by shock. That took me by surprise. I was shaking when I was reading that, and I couldn't even finish reading it. I was instinctually covering my mouth. My jaw was literally open as I'm reading this. Like your jaw dropping. I'm not lying. I'm not being facetious. I'm not, embellishing that. Like, my mouth was like, and I'm here by myself reading it, and I couldn't read it. I was mortified. Absolutely mortified when I started reading that stuff. I don't believe this mother knew. We have more evidence supporting the fact that this mother was unaware than we do that she was aware. So this is what I'm going to ask of my audience, because I know my audience out here believes the mom was involved or it should have known at minimum. But there's other people that believe she was actually holding a camera watching her daughter be AR'd. I don't believe that. Like, there's just nothing in my mind that's like, we see pieces of shit parents all the time. I'm sorry. Nothing in my mind is screaming that this lady is this kind of woman. Nothing, literally nothing. But I could be wrong. I've been off my game for a little bit. Who knows, right? Who knows? I could just be I'm off my game, and I'm not analyzing this like I'm supposed to be analyzing this. But we'll find out sooner than later. Lastly, we're just going to briefly talk about this because I'm going to probably again, you guys are going to want to sign up if you haven't already signed up for Bullhorn Betty channel. That's my main channel. It's got the large following on it. We're going to be starting Monday of next week. We will be all converged over to that new channel. I will only be running this show from that channel. I will be doing a separate show for X and a separate show for the Crime Stories channel. So we're going to be doing 3 separate shows, and but we are getting everybody back over to our main channel at the Coffee Club. So if you guys I know we got a lot of new people that had never heard or seen me before, our Crime Stories channel, please be sure to get over to our main channel. If my mods can drop and continue to drop the main channel periodically throughout our shows over the next week, I'd greatly appreciate it, just so we make sure we have the whole entire family over to the right area. Lastly, we're going to go over is Sebastian Rogers. He's the boy, Sumner County, Tennessee. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in what it perceives to be in the middle of the night. Nobody knows where he went. Nobody knows why he left. There's a lot of things going on in and around and behind the scenes of this boy, such as he was just getting ready to start packing up and going to live with his biological father starting this summer. You know, and there's one thing I want to show you guys, because we're trying to decipher what happened inside this home. I think everybody feels like something happened inside this home because of everything the parents have told us. Them telling this stuff right out of their own mouth. He doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, so you know, he didn't have any friends over there that night, right? He is, you know, based upon the very first interview with mom, it appears that she's had her hands full with him, that he had a good day, that this particular day he had a good day. You know, you kept hearing those type of language, like this particular day, on this day. So it implies, when you use that language, it implies that that's not the typical, that's not the norm, that this child could be problematic at times, because that's what mom was basically saying. The behavior panel picked up on that as well. So when we're thinking about autistic children, we're thinking about, you know, children that need a little bit of help in getting stuff. But I want you guys to take another perspective of what it means to be living with an autistic child that has behavioral issues, or that gets violent periodically. They can be very dangerous, and parents have to live through this. And I want you guys to see what an autistic boy can do to a parent. Not that this is the case for this boy here, but I want you to understand why some people are saying they believe the mom just got to her wits end. This is a mom.
Please do me a favor and go back and watch that whole video. It's a mother and her son.
And I want you to see how calm the mom is.
No cash. Please do me a favor.
So I want you to understand, that is a big boy. That is a mom. She's trying to stay calm because she loves her child, and her child has something he can't control called autism. And this particular boy was nonverbal. So he has a hard time communicating. And so mom has to be abused because her son doesn't know that's what he's doing. And I want you to understand that this is got to be difficult for any parent dealing with a child on the spectrum.
Do me a favor and go back and watch. And that's reasonable, right? That's reasonable. It is scary.
Trying to find the other part of it, not just her commentary. I don't want to steal her commentary. I just wanted to steal some of the, I think the rest of it is her commentary. But this is the nonverbal. This is the violence in the home that these kids and the parents have to go through. And it's nothing, you know, so it does, you know, did this happen? Did he have an episode late at night and mom couldn't control him, and, you know, he was hurting her, and by the time she got him off her, something happened to him?
I mean, there's so many things that could be said. I wouldn't want to think that his mother wouldn't have called for help if a situation like that happened, especially with him being nonverbal. But there is a concern because when we see when we see that footage where there's two lights, one of the flashlight comes up to the person with the other flashlight and then exits the opposite direction from the home. And that's where I have my problem, is who that second person was. What did they have when they exited the opposite direction of the home? That is my problem, because it appears that one person went back inside that home. You see what I'm saying? So we had two flashlights out there. One stayed near the home. One was in and out of the yard area. Then you see the other person, subject two. Subject one come up to subject two and then go back the opposite period that subject two went inside the home. Those are the problems I'm having with that footage, because it appeared whoever was with one of the flashlights actually resided in the home that Sebastian lives in. And there was another person with a second flashlight that went the opposite direction, like maybe to a car, an RV, something. And not only that, but here's another key piece that nobody's really discussing. One is it doesn't appear that the Proudfoots have been married for a significant amount of time. I don't think that they've been married for a full decade yet. I don't know how long they've been married, but it's in the grand scheme of things, to me, seems like it's a fairly new relationship. I don't know how long they've been together, but I can tell you, based upon my research, in 2015, he was heading to California to start his life over again. So that was only 9 years ago. So when did he make his route from Virginia to California and California to Tennessee? So that's what's making me realize that with that being 9 years ago, even if he stayed a year in California, you're looking at 8 years. And that means that the minute he got into Tennessee, he would have had to get in a relationship with the wife. Now, I don't know if that's the case. It just appears to me that they may not have been married for a significant amount of time. That's one. So that means stepdad probably isn't used to dealing with an autistic boy. The second thing that bothers me is the fact that none of this makes sense. And every time you try to get anywhere with law enforcement or the family, you're hit with, answers. Like right now, the stepfather was questioned by one of the people on his channel that they're trying to, find Sebastian with, and asked him, why aren't you going to any of these vigils? There's been 3, and his mother and his stepfather have been to 0. 0 vigils have the parents been to. We deal with this all the time, all over the country, and there has never been one time that we haven't had a parent at a vigil, except for the Wells, the Wests, and all of the other guilty parents. Now, does that mean that these parents are guilty? No, I'm not saying that in the least. I'm just saying that when people stop going, when people don't show up for these events, when all the other parents that are sitting in the same situation as these parents. So we're talking about both families missing children, both families having no idea where their child is, both families have vigils, or friends or communities have vigils, and one set of parents can make time for the vigil while the other set of parents seem to have to deal with law enforcement and sitting home. It's a common theme that we hear over and over again. And every time we hear them, we equate it because why? Who was one of the first people we remember in the last 2 years that said, oh, but law enforcement told us to stay in our house. That's why we didn't go. Who is that from? Trezell West himself. Trezell West himself. Trezell West right now is spending life behind bars for what? Unaliving one of his kids, along with his wife, Jacqueline. So again, it's not that we believe, at least for me right now, it's not that I believe these parents are capable of this. I mean, their house looks good. They look like they have good jobs. They look like they took good care of him. So it's not like Bullhorn Betty is pointing the finger at this family and saying, you did something to your son. I'm not saying that. But I am saying Your behaviors are very familiar. I am saying that. That's what I'm saying. That your behaviors that you're exhibiting right now after the loss of your child. I'm not saying you did anything. I'm just saying I've been around the block a time or two. I deal with really crazy parents. I deal with great parents every single day of my life. And I deal with also pretty shitty parents every single day of my life. And you know what? The great parents go to those vigils whether they want to or not. This family didn't. Now, there might be a good, reasonable explanation for that. I don't want to dog these parents because honestly, I don't know what's going on. But I find it awfully suspect that he had no friends. Stepdad's conveniently out of the area. And mom doesn't know what happened to this child that has no friends and does not leave the house without putting his shoes and socks on. And then we've come to find out that there's 2 flashlights in their backyard. One goes in the house and one goes the opposite direction. And then we find out that the missing child is supposed to be moving out of that home soon. Would the mom have had to pay child support? If dad's paying child support to mom, would mom have to pay child support to dad? Is this where we get into a financial issue for this boy? We have to look at it, guys. I'm not saying that this is the case or not. I don't know. I was not there. Neither were any of you. But something is not adding up right. You can't have a boy that has no contact with the outside world except through school, and the only people he has a contact with and the only people he trusts are the ones inside of his house, and you're trying to tell me that some stranger coaxed him out of his house. I don't believe it. I don't believe he locked his front door behind him. I do not believe that boy walked out of that home. That's my problem. There's no evidence of it. So where is he? Anyways, guys, you take care. It's been an amazing time this Manic Monday to spend with each and every one of you. I hope you guys stick around. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of my channels across multiple social media, including Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I will see you guys soon. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And before we close out, I'd like to give thanks to all the people that supported and sponsored this show. Betty fan, thank you and God bless. Roxy, God bless you. We have It's Me Jen, thank you so much. Kay in Maine, again, thank you. And Easy E, as always, you are so appreciative. Appreciated here. I love you all. You guys are amazing. You do amazing things. Please be kind to all the people out there. We say no to online bullying and harassment. We hope that you guys quit supporting that kind of garbage here on the streets of YouTube. But I digress. I just want you to rock it out with your coffee beans out. Have a great day and see you soon.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.